Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here on Monday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. Yes, there is a little bit of green on my shirt, so no, you're not allowed to pinch me today. You shouldn't be pinching people in public anyways, right? Okay, so Jaguars mock draft. On Friday, we did what I would have done in free agency, and this is going to kind of continue that trend. I'm not doing this to bash the Jaguars. I've talked about that a lot. I think that this new regime, James Gladstone, Liam Cohen and company, they deserve room to work. They deserve fans and analysts should allow them to operate this offseason and see the full picture before really slamming what they did in free agency. I think that this is a group led by James Gladstone on the personnel side that's going to do a really good job in the draft. The Rams have operated in the draft very similarly to what I have seen fit in the last few drafts, and James Gladstone's been a big part of that. So I think he's going to get some guys that I'm going to be fired up about, and I think some fans will be too. But I just wanted to, at this point in the offseason, now that free agency is, the big part of free agency is kind of over with, just offer my thoughts on what I would do if I was the Jaguars heading into the draft here. And I'll probably do this today and then maybe one more time. And we are closing on our new home today. We'll be moving throughout the week. I think that today I'll probably only have this one upload, but throughout the rest of the week, I think we should be able to get 2-3 per day as we normally do. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. So looking at this mock draft, there's 3 players that I feel very confident will go in the first 4 picks. I feel most confident that Cam Ward and Abdul Carter will definitely go in the first 4 picks. The third player is Travis Hunter, and he's the number 1 prospect on my board. So how could it be possible for Travis Hunter to potentially fall? And this is kind of just a, thought experiment as well with, if Travis Hunter does fall to 5 where the Jaguars are picking, should they take him? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. I view him personally best as a wide receiver. I think if I was Travis Hunter, I would want to play wide receiver. It's a less volatile position. It's a higher paid position. That's where I would want to be. I would want to be on the offensive side of the ball. Now, Travis Hunter, he's said he wants to play both sides. That's great. And maybe the Jaguars figure out a way that can work, where he's playing both sides, maybe not 100% full-time, but maybe whatever percentage. Personally, if it's me, I'm playing him at wide receiver. I want him helping my quarterback. He's got the best ball skills in the class, the most natural hands, unbelievable separation, creation, right? Like his ability to create separation with or without the ball with like one movement, one explosive, powerful movement is really special. I think he's a special wide receiver prospect. Good length, super athlete. So that's what I would say. Yes, you take him at 5 if you can. And if you want to play him at corner, I'm fine with that too. I just think he's going to help you more at wide receiver. Pairing him with Brian Thomas Jr. catching passes from Trevor Lawrence, that just sounds insane. But how does he fall to 5? Again, I think Cam Ward and Abdul Carter, there's no way they fall to 5. Travis Hunter, though, how could this happen? You get another quarterback taken. The Giants, it looks like Cam Ward's going to go to the Titans at 1. The Giants, if they take Shedeur Sanders or another quarterback, because they got kind of left at the altar with this quarterback, the quarterback movement, the quarterback musical chairs this offseason, maybe they get desperate and say, we got to take a quarterback. Maybe not. I don't know. That's been an organization that's operated pretty funky over the last several years. I can't believe Joe Shane's still in place. But maybe they take a quarterback. I think that would help you, obviously. And then you look at, let's say it's Cam Ward, then Abdul Carter to the Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders or some other quarterback to the Giants. Then you've got the Patriots. Would they take an offensive lineman to protect Drake May? I think there's a chance that happens. And look, I'm not saying it's likely, but again, I just wanted because we haven't talked about this in a long time, and I've actually seen some people saying like, don't draft Travis Hunter if he's there at 5. I completely disagree. This is the number one prospect on my board by a wide margin. So in this mock draft I ran, he actually did fall to 5 over at the NFL mock draft database, and that's kind of how it went. The Patriots took an offensive lineman, the Giants took Shador Sanders, the Titans took Cam Ward, and Abdul Carter went to the Cleveland Browns. That is possible. It absolutely is. So let's finish out the rest of this mock draft here, assuming that Travis Hunter is the pick at 5. And again, probably not the most likely thing in the world, but it's possible. And I think that Jaguars fans, obviously, team leadership, the leadership unit, needs to be prepared for all potential outcomes, all potential possibilities. But I think fans should too. And that's why we're here. So Travis Hunter at 5, catching passes from Trevor Lawrence, and playing opposite Brian Thomas Jr., you now have that legit 1-2 punch at wide receiver that a lot of teams covet. And you saw the Cincinnati Bengals pay heaps of money over the weekend to keep their 1-2 in place. The Jaguars now have that 1-2 on rookie deals for the next, what did I say the other day? Brian Thomas Jr. probably, if you extend him, his contract doesn't start till 2029, I think. 2026 year 2, 2027 year 3, 2028 year 4. Excuse me, 2025 year 2, 2026 year 3, 2027 year 4, 2028 year 5. Yeah, 2029. You got these two guys under contract on the cheap till 2029. Pretty epic. So you're good there. You've got your offensive weapons in place in a big way. At 36, Gray Zabel fell. And it doesn't have to be Gray Zabel, but that would be my number one choice for interior offensive line. He doesn't have to start right away, but he can compete to start at center. He can compete to start at guard. And then he can also be that key backup for you this year. The versatility that he, along with the guy you brought in, Patrick McCary from Baltimore, that versatility to kind of plug in holes whenever they arise with injuries, I think would be huge. And Gray Zabel, I think what stands out most about him, his hands are always in the right place and his feet are always balanced. He has such a good wide base that he plays with, and he's a dog out there as well. So Gray Zabel, I would just love to see him in black and teal, no question about it. Then at, at 70, we finally go interior defensive line, which is where we normally go in the first round with Mason Graham, right? But at 70, we go TJ Sanders out of South Carolina. And we're going to continue talking about that pick. But first, got to remind y'all about Underdog. This basketball season, when your favorite stars score buckets, we're alley-ooping you an opportunity to win money from watching sports with Underdog. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward. Signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code DuvalDaily, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. I'm all magic all the time. Y'all know that. So whenever there's some magic opportunities for me to, maybe take a look at how much Paolo Banchero can score, I'm going to do that. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Duval Daily to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus, Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus, Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783 or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. So, y'all know. Got the Magic hat on. Shout out to the Magic. They've had a very disappointing 2024 so far. 2025, but hell of a win yesterday against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So TJ Sanders at 70, the South Carolina interior defensive lineman. I have been a big fan of TJ Sanders for a long time, and I have him a lot higher than this on my board. I have him in the 30s, and I'd like to have him even higher. It's just, people tell you this is a down draft class. I don't buy that at all. I like this draft class a lot. I really do. I think there's a lot of talent throughout this class. But looking at TJ Sanders out of South Carolina, he is insanely explosive off the ball. You see that on tape. I've been on him for a while. Before we got to the Senior Bowl, before we got to the Combine, I'd watched TJ Sanders and liked what I saw a lot. And I've seen, obviously Kyle Kennard as well, and Nick Manwari, Demetrius Knight. South Carolina has a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball in this draft. But at the combine, TJ Sanders came in at 6'4", 297, 33 and an eighth arms, 10 and a quarter hands. Like, he came in bigger than expected, honestly, 297 pounds. But he had a 31 and a half inch vert, 9'4" broad, 7'7" three cone, 4'6", 20-yard shuttle. He was pretty impressive overall, and he moved really well. Didn't do the 40-yard dash, but he moved really well in the drills, and you expected that based on his tape. Again, explosive off the ball, has a variety of hand moves that work really well. He has good length at his size, and he's able to utilize that also in the run game to lock out offensive lineman and be able to dictate which way he's going to go, kind of read what's happening in front of him and hit the correct gap to try to be as disruptive as possible. And he holds the point well again because he is strong for his size, but he also has that length and the hand size to help him win at the point of attack. So I love TJ Sanders, and I think we're going to continue talking about this with some of these picks later on in the draft. The Rams, where James Gladstone comes from, they have done a really good job building around maybe some prospects that not every team was really fired up about. And obviously this will depend on Anthony Campanile's philosophy on how he wants to build the trenches. But, Kobe Turner, not the biggest guy in the world at defensive tackle. Obviously, Braden Fisk, not the biggest guy in the world at defensive tackle. But these guys can heat up the quarterback, and they play with their hair on fire against the run as well. I think TJ Sanders really fits that mold to a T. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there with TJ Sanders. Really excited about that fit for the Jaguars potentially at 70 overall if he does in fact fall that far and the Jaguars haven't taken Mason Graham already, who I think the Jaguars will love. But again, if Travis Hunter's on the board, you got to go get your guy. And again, we're doing what I would do right now. And Travis Hunter did fall to 5. We took him. And then 88, safety Andrew Makuba out of Texas. We've talked about him a lot. I just think, round 3, if he falls to round 4, this is the range where I would be just kind of sprinting to the podium, so to speak, for an Andrew Makuba. The Jaguars, they did sign Eric Murray. He's not going to be a long-term fixture, and he is more of a box type of guy. I think Andrew Makuba can be more back-end for you. They both have some versatility, certainly. Makuba brings it. He ran a 4.45 40-yard dash, which helped him out as well. I just think he's going to probably be a day one starter in the NFL as long as he's well coached. And I think he will be in Jacksonville with Anthony Campanile and company. So Andrew Makuba out of Texas at 88. At 107, cornerback Jacob Parrish, and we've talked about him a lot as well. Another guy where I love him. I think the Jaguars will love him too. He's fast as all get out, very explosive. He's only 5'10", but he has good length at his size, plays physical, instinctive. He has really good feet and overall fluidity as a mover at corner. So I think you bring him in, and now you have 4 corners that you feel really good about. You also have Buster Brown and DeAndre Prince as younger guys. I know Buster Brown's got some experience now, but DeAndre Prince is your developmental guy behind there, and Buster Brown is just kind of that break in case of emergency type of guy as well. So I really like that a lot. At 126, this is where I talked about the Rams saying, we can go with some guys that maybe aren't prototypical that we can use to attack in different sort of ways. So I have Aeneas Peebles here as well, defensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. And look, like another smaller guy. But this is exactly what the Rams did with Kobe Turner and with Braden Fisk. And you look at Mason Smith, who the Jaguars currently have. I'm excited about his potential. I'm excited about his future. I am. But do I want to go all in on betting that he is the guy? Again, we didn't get Mason Graham in the first round here. So do I want to go all in on betting that he is the guy? I'm not sure. I would like for that to happen. I'm going to hope that happens and work for that to happen if I'm the Jaguars. But getting Aeneas Peebles to go with Mason Smith and to go with TJ Sanders, this is a guy, if you have Peebles and Sanders on the field at the same time in clear pass rushing situations, good luck. With Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker screaming off the edge, this guy, 282 pounds, again, he's small, but he's 6 feet. 282 pounds. If you're 6'4", 282, that is really tall and lean. 6 feet, he carries that 282 pretty well. And so I think that he's able to use that natural leverage, get up under the pads of offensive linemen, and use his explosiveness, which is evident. 4.94 40-yard dash, 1.74 10 split, 32.5-inch vert, 9.1 broad, 4.7 20-yard shuttle. And he's got spin moves on the inside. He is absolutely juiced up for an interior pass rusher. I love his game. So I just think, again, affecting the quarterback on third down situations, and ES Peoples is going to help you do that. I also think as a backup edge, which I hope the Jaguars actually sign a veteran, which there's still some guys out there, at 142, we go get an ES Peoples teammate for that NASCAR package, Antoine Powell-Ryland, who is another guy who has a bag of pass rush moves, not the biggest guy in the world, but you go get Josh Hines-Allen and ES Peoples, TJ Sanders, and Antoine Powell-Ryland on the field at the same time, third down. Offensive line are not going to be able to handle that athleticism. They're just not. And I'm not saying take Trayvon Walker off. I'm saying in the rotation, right? And yeah, I saw some rumors about Trayvon Walker this weekend. I would not pay any attention to that. I would not. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think the Jaguars should extend Trayvon Walker versus trying to trade him, quite frankly. That would be really disappointing if the new regime wants to move in that direction. Does he fit necessarily what they have looked for, James Gladstone and company, in Los Angeles? I don't think so, but I think you look at him as such a good football player on all three downs. You just keep him around and continue to build around him. At 182, we go get running back Kyle Monangai out of Rutgers. This is an incredibly deep running back class. And Monangai, I think he really possesses some of the things that Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby don't at such a high level. I think he's good in pass protection for one. I think he's really good at pressing the hole, making instinctual cuts inside the tackles. A little bit more consistent, certainly inside the tackles than Travis Etienne. I think his vision is more consistent than Tank Bigsby. His ball security is a little bit better than Tank Bigsby's as well. And then at the second level, he's good at laterally cutting you or running right through your face. So he's going to pick up a lot of 10-plus yard runs. I don't think he's going to have the long speed to really bust off the 60, 70, 80-yard runs necessarily, but the 10 to 20 to 30-yard runs, I think Kyle Monangai can do that at a high level. He is a tough runner. He's physical. He's smart. So I would really like that fit for the Jaguars, especially, in combination with the guys that they currently have, because I think he possesses the skill sets, the traits that maybe those two guys are missing at times. At 194, wide receiver Jalen Lane, another Virginia Tech Hokie. We got a very Virginia Tech forward draft here. And there's been a lot of wide receivers I've talked about in this range because I think wide receiver is deep as well, and there's guys being slept on. But Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech, he is a true speedster. And he's had very, very reliable hands throughout his career. He can snap off routes in a flash, but he can get down the field. 4.34 40-yard dash at 190 pounds, 5'10". He's not going to be a contested catch guy. That's not going to be his game, but he's going to be somebody that gets open down the field. And that's going to help out Travis Hunter, help out Brian Thomas Jr. This is like that true speedster that, Brian Thomas Jr. is as well, and I think Travis Hunter is. But he's the type of guy that defenses are going to have to respect his downfield vertical speed to where it's going to help out Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. when you're trying to run routes with them in these short to intermediate areas of the field. And then at 221, the tight end that everybody's forgetting about, Luke Lachey out of Iowa. You do not want to let an Iowa tight end go late in the NFL draft. It's not going to be good for the rest of the league. That's kind of how it goes. These guys, I don't know what they do at Iowa, but you get a late round Iowa tight end, and pretty much any Iowa tight end at this point, as long as they're able to stay healthy, playing good football in the NFL. And Luke Lachey, a couple years back, he was playing great ball. And the offense kind of fell off last year or two. And to me, has that opportunity to be a really balanced tight end to suit what Liam Cohen wants to do on the offensive side of the ball, guys that can block and catch passes, when they get out in their routes. So that's kind of how I'm looking at the NFL draft right now. I think it's most likely that Travis Hunter's off the board, but if he's not, you absolutely take him, and I would plug him in at wide receiver. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.